Global Games. Opening Billion Spiritual Coins Introduction. Alien Civilization Invasion, Global Spiritual Recovery, a game designed to fight against alien civilizations has emerged. What? Can only use psionic coins for all in-game transactions. Can't you quickly improve your strength without burning a lot of money? Suyu stood next to the world's largest spiritual spring and smiled. I have billions of spiritual coins. Afraid or not? Please. We have completed an old book with 1.6 million words, and our reputation is guaranteed. 1. Rebirth, Billions of Spiritual Power. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Parallel World, Donghai City. Ha. In a 50 square meter room in the Hohot community, a young man aged around 22 or 3 suddenly sat up from the bed, panting heavily. Didn't I be killed by the Scruns? How could? Looking at the familiar surroundings, Suyu quickly touched the phone by the bedside. On May 29, 2120. Has I been reborn? And back before the great change began. Suyu looked at the date displayed on his phone, looking incredulous. According to his memory, on June 1, which is 3 days later, the Scroastrians will invade the Blue Star. Scro is a civilization 1 level higher than Blue Star, with the ability to destroy Blue Star humans within a month. But according to the game rules established by the Cosmic God level civilization. The Singer Civilization. When advanced civilizations invade weaker civilizations, Singers will provide a period of protection time and a certain degree of self-protection measures for weaker civilizations. So the full-scale invasion of the Scro people was postponed to June 1, 2121, 1 year later. At the same time, the Singer civilization provides 2 ways for Blue Star humans to protect themselves. 1. Spiritual revival. At that time, all the spiritual energy stored deep in the mantle will be unleashed, enhancing the strength of all Blue Star humans. 2. A game with 100% realism. Evolution. When Blue Star humans reach level 50 in evolution, they can bring the power from the game to the real world. Unfortunately, before Suyu's rebirth, governments around the world were completely immersed in the fear brought about by the Scro invasion and did not know that through evolution, their power could be realized. It has been 6 months since countries began to attach importance to and encourage the whole population to participate in game exploration. One step slow. On June 1, 2021, the fully prepared Scro people launched a massive invasion, wave after wave of attacks pressing against the Blue Star humans. And Suyu also died in the last few waves of attacks by the Scro people. Suyu stared at the date displayed on his phone screen, his face stiff and speechless for a long time. After a long period of time, he finally regained his senses. The opening of evolution should be in 3 days. During these 3 days, I must buy a game helmet. Also, when I first log into the game helmet will absorb all the spiritual energy within a radius of 5 kilometers. It's best for me to bring the helmet to the side of a spiritual spring. Suyu murmured softly to himself while taking action, dialing the dedicated line for purchasing game helmets. He is not someone who sits idly by. As for whether Suyu's rebirth can cause the butterfly effect and affect the overall human situation, he himself is not sure. Anyway, do your best and listen to fate. 3 days later, at 7:30 in the morning, Suyu drove his shabby car to a rarely seen hill in the suburbs of Donghai City. Yunlu Mountain is here. Suyu picked up the game helmet placed in the back seat and began hiking. The game helmet of evolution is priced at 30,000 yuan, almost spending all of his savings from a year of work after graduation, but Suyu doesn't care at all. Human beings are about to be destroyed, what's the use of asking for money? Holding his helmet, Suyu arrived at the mountaintop and looked around at the magnificent rivers and mountains. He was filled with emotions. Nowadays, almost no one in the country knows about Yunlu Mountain, an unknown small mountain, but in 6 months, the name of this mountain will spread throughout the country. Due to the revival of spiritual energy, 24 giant, 108 large, and 3,600 small, spiritual springs, will be opened globally to spray spiritual energy outward. And the Yunlu Mountain Spiritual Spring Eye is the largest one in the world. Time passes by minute by second. It's 8 o'clock. It's time for the opening of evolution, and a huge change is about to begin. Su Yu's face became solemn. Soon, the earth began to tremble violently. About 2 kilometers north of the mountaintop, the ground suddenly cracked open with a deep, bottomless hole. At the same time, a huge amount of milky white and light purple spiritual energy gushed out of the large opening, spreading and spreading, and the spiritual energy flood surged into the sky. How beautiful! Su Yu looked at the already formed spiritual pillar, and squinted his eyes. The spiritual spring eye appears to be a gift from the blue star to humanity, which can enhance the strength of all humans. But Su Yu knew that it was also one of the root causes of human suffering. About an hour later, the Skrull people's spaceship will arrive here, occupy the spiritual spring eye, and build a base. Not only did humans not enjoy any benefits brought by the psychic spring, but it was the Skrull people who used the energy in the spring to create a large number of terrifying monsters, causing great trouble for humans. Therefore, Su Yu's helmet absorbing the spiritual energy here not only does not harm humans, but also weakens the power of the Skrull people. It can be said to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. After seeing spiritual energy gushing out from underground, Su Yu quickly put on his gaming helmet. Enter the game. The game evolution is loading. A familiar game prompt sounded in his ear, and Su Yu's consciousness was connected to his helmet, entering a deeper game world. Ding, we have detected spiritual substances around you. Have you absorbed them? Yes. Starting to absorb, please wait. Outside, the massive spiritual energy rushing towards the clouds seemed to be attracted by an invisible force, all rushing towards Su Yu on the mountaintop. Endless spiritual energy enveloped him layer by layer, absorbed by the helmet. In the game, the spiritual power value on Su Yu's panel is also skyrocketing. 100,000. Million. Millions. 100 million. In the end, Yu reading www.akanshu.net's spiritual power value stopped at the number of 10 billion. Su Yu couldn't help but shudder. Before his rebirth, he entered the game 6 months later, and at that time, he only gained 11 spiritual points. And now, 10 billion. Detected that the absorption of spiritual energy has reached the maximum limit, whether to enter the game. Don't enter, exit the game. Su Yu quickly made a decision. Because in an hour, the Skrull spacecraft will descend here, and he doesn't want to be the first human captured alive by the Skrull people. After exiting the game, Su Yu took off his helmet. Because the helmet absorbed almost all the spiritual energy around it, the Yunlu Mountain Spring Eye in the north became lethargic, completely devoid of the majestic and surging momentum just now. Su Yu didn't care about these things and quickly ran down the mountain holding the game helmet. At the foot of the mountain road, Su Yu drove his small and dilapidated car, fully accelerating and leaving the range of Yunlu Mountain. An hour later, a crack several kilometers wide tore open over Yunlu Mountain. A brown-gray spaceship that was 200 meters long landed on the mountaintop of Yunlu Mountain. Inside the spacecraft, the light green-skinned female pilot of Skrull reported to her superiors. Commander, there is an abnormality in the 001 giant psychic spring eye, with a gushing volume equivalent to that of a small psychic spring eye. How could that be? The male commander of Skrull, sitting in the control room, looked surprised. Do you think we landed in the wrong place? No, sir. The coordinate data is completely normal. Then. Let's land here and follow the orders of headquarters, Commander Skrull said. Obey me. 2. Lottery, Legendary Bloodline. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Half an hour later, Su Yu returned to the rental house and connected the game helmet to the power supply. A gaming helmet is similar to a laptop in that it can only be played for 2 to 3 hours without being powered on, and must be powered on to play for a long time. I really made a lot of money this time. Not only did I obtain billions of resources, but I also weakened the strength of the Screw people. Suyu happily put on his helmet and entered the game. After a magnificent CG, Suyu arrived at an ancient temple. The walls around the temple are engraved with complex and mysterious runes, and in the center of the temple stands a giant sword that is over 3 people tall. This is the landing page for evolution. Welcome to Evolution, Adventurer. We have detected that you have absorbed 10 billion spiritual energy points. Would you like to convert it into spiritual coins? The originally cold game prompt sound actually carried a hint of flattery, which made Suyu somewhat uncomfortable. Convert all. Ding, conversion successful, you have obtained 10 billion spiritual coins. Looking at the 10 billion displayed in the spiritual energy coin column, Suyu felt a bit overwhelmed after experiencing rebirth. At this moment, he was also momentarily absent-minded. Spiritual currency is a regular currency in the game. At the beginning of the game, the offline exchange price of psychic coins remained at a high level of 1.10 coins. Moreover, the value of psionic coins is very strong, and even in the later stages of the game, when most players are at levels 50 or 60, the price of psionic coins has never fallen below 100.1. That is to say, if I exchange all my psychic coins for flower coins now, I will also be a billionaire in the billions. Suyu felt his lips were a bit dry and astringent. However, the game prompt sound shattered his imagination. Please choose your profession. On the empty space in front of the temple's giant sword, there appeared a phantom of 7 major professions. Mighty power, warrior. Mysterious spells, magicians. A sharp blade in the shadow, assassin. Devout faith, pastor. The steadfastness of the holy light, holy knight. Flying arrow feathers, archers. The balance of nature, druid. The phantom of the 7 major professions, dressed in luxurious high-level equipment, showcases their respective profession-specific skills in the open space of the temple. For a moment, the sharp blades danced, the flames rolled, the giant bear roared, and the holy light shone from the perspective of Suyu. It can be seen that the equipment on these virtual shadows is of high quality, at least at the epic level. And they are indeed demonstrating rare skills in the game, which is not fooling anyone. I choose a magician, Suyu made a decision. In the early stages of the mage profession, there are few spells, and before releasing a few spells, one must sit down and return to mana, making it quite difficult to level up. But Suyu has billions of spiritual coins. There is nothing that cannot be solved by burning money. Moreover, the mage profession is also the one that burns money and improves strength the fastest in the game. Ding, it has been confirmed that you have chosen the mage profession. Please name your character. This. Suyu fell into contemplation. What's the good name? The Screw Destroyer. No, this name is too straightforward and will attract the attention of governments around the world. After all, only high-level governments around the world now know the name Screw People. Let's call it Nemesis. After some thought, Suyu made a decision. Naming successful, you have a chance to randomly draw blood. Do you want to draw it? Extract. Ding. Congratulations on obtaining the normal blood, forest elf blood, which increases spell strength by 5% in the forest environment. Would you like to spend 10 spiritual coins to redraw it? Redraw. Suyu didn't hesitate. The quality of blood vessels is divided into ordinary, white, excellent, green, rare, blue, epic, purple, and legendary, orange. As a dog tycoon with billions of spiritual coins, how could he be willing to only use the lowest level of ordinary bloodline? Ding. Congratulations on obtaining the rare bloodline, Troll Chieftain bloodline. Would you like to spend 100 spiritual coins to draw it again? Re-extract. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining excellent bloodline, Frost Naga bloodline. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the epic bloodline, Storm Dragon bloodline. Each time blood is drawn again, the required spiritual coins will be x10. In the end, Suyu spent up to 10 million spiritual coins per click. Fortunately, after rising to 10 million, the cost of psychic coins no longer increases. Farewell, a set of villas on the 4th ring road of the imperial capital will be extracted again. Farewell, 10 luxury supercars, draw again. Suyu said it on his lips, but in reality, he didn't even blink his eyelids. He kept repeatedly drawing, only wanting a legendary level talent. Houses and cars are all virtual, having stronger strength to survive is the most important thing. Finally, after drawing more than 200 times and consuming over 2 billion spiritual coins, a golden light burst out completely in the temple. Yuyu reading www.yuyukeangshu.net. Ding! Congratulations on obtaining the legendary bloodline, Star Bloodline. Finally, it's out. I'm indeed the Emperor of Europe. Suyu wiped his sweat and breathed a sigh of relief. According to the information obtained by Suyu, there are very few people in their past lives who possessed the legendary bloodline. There are probably 3 billion humans who have entered the game, and there are only 5 or 6 super European emperors who are fortunate enough to obtain the legendary bloodline. Su Yuning only drew 200 times to obtain the legendary bloodline, and his luck is already very, very good. After the extraction was completed, the specific information of the starry bloodline was also displayed before his eyes. Starry bloodline, legend, bloodline talent. 1. Star transformation. It can materialize your strength and skills into the real world. 2. Star pointer. You can use experience points and spiritual coins to strengthen your skills and items, improving their quality. After reading the talent of Starry Bloodline, Su Yuchang breathed a sigh of relief. Undoubtedly, it is a legendary talent. Really powerful. Putting aside the second point of talent, Suyu was already very satisfied with the first point alone. Others must reach level 50 and complete a series of difficult tasks in order to bring their strength into reality. But Suyu is different. He can bring his strength and skills into reality at just one level. This has also given him strong self-protection ability in the early stage of reality. As for the second point, it is still necessary to enter the game to understand before reaching a conclusion. PS, update time. 2 shifts per day, updated promptly at 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. in the afternoon. When it's time for recommendation, start adding updates as needed. 3. Enhancement, increases damage by 21 times. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Ding! Have you made any adjustments to your appearance? Adjustment, reduce by 40%. Suyu quickly responded. In his previous life, he entered the game without adjusting his appearance, but ended up in huge trouble. Due to his high appearance, countless women crowded around him, and every day when he went online, he received more than 10 ambiguous private messages, which exhausted him. I can't be so promiscuous in this life. Women only affect the speed of my casting, Suyu thought to himself. Entering game, countdown 3, 2, 1, 0. The countdown ended and Suyu was teleported into the game. Novice Village number 006, Nolan Village. Nolan Village is a bustling small village. On the central square of the village, countless white lights flashed by, and a large number of players were born here. The new players are full of curiosity about this unfamiliar world. Looking at the houses and tree shadows around them that are no different from the real world, they run, jump, and loudly discuss. This game is too realistic, isn't it? Yeah. It's completely like another world. It's simply unbelievable. I disdained the promotion of 100% realism back then, but I never thought it could really be achieved. Which country's black technology is this? That's amazing. These 30,000 yuan didn't go to waste, I must invite friends to play. Listening to the enthusiastic discussion among the new players, Su Yu's lips showed a faint smile. It's great to be young. In his previous life, he entered the gaming world for the first time and was also amazed by the outstanding performance of the game. But now that he has become accustomed to this world, it naturally doesn't matter. Su Yu left the crowded crowd and opened his attribute panel in a corner of the square. Character. Killer, level. LV1 occupation. Magician bloodline. Star bloodline, legend, attribute. Strength. 5, agility. 5, intelligence. 8, constitution. 4, lucky value. 10 spell strength. 9 health. 80 mana value. 100 defense. 6 spell critical hit rate. 0 movement speed. 1.2 experience value 0/1000 wealth. 737-888-8890 psionic coins equipment. New technique staff LV1, normal, spell strength +1, novice robe LV1, normal, defense +1 skills. Magic bullet, normal, star pointer, legend, magic bullet, normal. Launches a magic bullet that deals 100% spell damage to the target. The casting time is 1.5 seconds, and the mana cost is 5 points. Star pointer, legend. Consume experience points or spiritual coins to elevate a prop or skill to a higher quality. The quality grading of equipment and skills, like the quality grading of blood, is also divided into ordinary, white, excellent, green, rare, blue, epic, purple, and legendary, orange. And his skill, the star pointer, can enhance the quality of props and skills. Su Yu gave it a try. Ding, do you spend 10 spiritual coins to strengthen that new technique staff, normal, dot. Okay. Ding, the quality of the new technique staff, normal, has been improved to new technique staff, excellent, obtaining spell strength +4 an additional attribute. Spell penetration +3 ding, did you spend 100 spiritual coins to strengthen the new technique staff, excellent, dot. Okay. Ding, the quality of the new technique staff, excellent, has been improved to new technique staff, rare, obtaining spell strength +5 an additional attribute. Intelligence +3 unfortunately, when Su Yu chose to strengthen again, the system prompted, level 10 is required to continue strengthening. We can only stop. However, now the attributes of the new technique staff have changed to new technique staff, rare, spell strength +10 spell penetration +3 intelligence +3, this attribute is really impressive. After strengthening it, it almost caught up with the level 10 green quality staff. Su Yu exclaimed. Without stopping, he strengthened the novice robe to a rare blue quality. Novice robe LV1, rare, defense +10 physical resistance +3 mana recovery speed +3, this is equivalent to saying that one level can wear level 10 equipment, truly worthy of the legendary bloodline. Su Yu couldn't help but think of his past life, where he only had one ordinary quality human mechanic bloodline, repair cost 0.1%, which was completely incomparable to the present. In addition to equipment, skills can also be enhanced. Ding, do you want to spend 100 psionic coins to enhance the magic bullet, normal, dot. Okay. Ding, the quality of magic bullet, normal, has been improved to magic bullet, excellent, the spell damage has been increased by 100%, the casting time is 0.5 seconds, and the magic power consumption is +5 ding, did you spend 1000 psionic coins? The enhancement is complete, and the quality of the magic bullet has been improved to magic bullet, rare, rare. Launches a magic bullet that deals 300% spell damage to the target. The casting time is 0.5 seconds, and the mana value is consumed by 15 points. Compared to the original skill, the damage of magic bullet, rare, has been increased from 100% to 300%, which is 3 times the original. The casting time has also been reduced from 1.5 seconds to 0.5 seconds. The only downside may be that the mana cost of casting has also increased by 3 times. However, flaws do not hide the truth. Suyu was very satisfied and said, "I finally understand why those perverts in the past had such high damage. The archer's signature skill at level 20, Sniper, only has 300% panel damage, right? Wait. Since the magic bullet can be strengthened, can the star pointer also strengthen itself?" Suyu quickly gave it a try. But he soon received the game prompt ding. The skill to enhance the legendary quality requires a level of 30. We can only give up. However, after a round of enhancement, Suyu's spell strength increased from 9 to 21 points. In addition, the damage of the magic bullet has increased by 3 times, and the casting speed has decreased by 3 times. Now, his second damage dealt per second, is at least 21 times that of other novice mages. Hidden tasks are not in a hurry, so let's go to the wild monster area first to try the efficiency of monster spawning. Suyu felt a little itchy and really wanted to try his monster spawning ability. However, there is one more thing that must be done before brushing monsters, which is to purchase sufficient amounts of blue medicine. His mana value is only 100 points, and the mana consumption of the magic bullet is only 15 points. Releasing 6 or 7 spells will embarrass him with empty mana, which is not acceptable. Thinking of this, Suyu quickly walked towards the wizard's cabin in the novice village, where there were sufficient quantities of potions for sale. For trigger hidden mission, invitation from the old wizard. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Because there are too many players in the novice village, the wizard's cabin has been set up as an independent plane. Pushing open the heavy oak door and walking in, there was only the old wizard with white beard inside. "Boss, I want to buy magic potions." Suyu knocked on the table. At this moment, the old wizard was pounding a pot of green solution with a crucible. Upon hearing Suyu's words, he looked up and glanced at her, then turned his head and said coldly, "Go ahead. Is this where you should be? My lowest level potion costs at least 5 psionic coins, and you can afford it. Newcomers need to do tasks honestly, clean up monsters, and don't set your sights too high. The AI of NPCs in Evolution is very high, and they all have their own independent personalities." The old wizard saw the novice robe and staff on Suyu's body and thought he was a poor ghost, so he had no intention of paying attention to him. Suyu smiled. He did not speak out to refute, but instead materialized the psychic coin in his backpack. La 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 la. Crystal clear psychic coins poured out and scattered all over the wooden table. At first glance, there are at least several thousand pieces. The old wizard turned his head when he heard the sound. Seeing the table full of psychic coins, his hands for concocting potions froze and his eyes widened. What is the situation? Why is this novice mage so wealthy? As a level 30 mage and part-time pharmacist, it's difficult for him to easily spend so much money. So his attitude suddenly took a 180-degree turn. Hee, little brother, it was all a misunderstanding just now. What do you need? My goods are the most complete. The old wizard changed his friendly face and leaned closer to Suyu. Looking at the table full of psychic coins, I eagerly rubbed my hands. The old wizard's face changing reminded Suyu of an ancient saying. Be disdainful in the front and respectful in the back, thinking about it makes one laugh. But he doesn't have the same understanding as NPCs. After receiving the exchange list handed over by the old wizard, Suyu began to check it. 300 bottles of basic mana recovery potion, 100 bottles of basic wisdom potion, 300 magic scrolls of fireball art, 100 magic scrolls of ice arrow. The maximum stacking limit for each backpack is 100. So Suyu bought many sets of potions and magic scrolls in groups of 100 and stuffed them into his backpack until it couldn't fit. As for the potion for restoring health, so you didn't buy a single bottle because the monsters in the novice village were clumsy and couldn't use it even after buying the potion. Instead, it took up space in the backpack. Seeing that Suyu had purchased so many high-value props at once, the old wizard nodded and ran back and forth to pick up things, completely losing his pride just now. This shopping cost Suyu a total of 5,000 psychic coins, and it is possible that players from the entire novice village cannot gather together to make up so much money. But he didn't even blink, and immediately walked out after the transaction was completed. The old wizard saw that Suyu was leaving and quickly waved his hand to persuade him to stay. Wait a minute, little brother. What's up? Suyu turned around. Hee, it's like this. The old wizard immediately explained, I see that your bones are unique, surrounded by elements all over your body, and you are a rare magical genius. Speaking seriously. Okay. May I ask if you would like to join my faction? The Scholar Temple. The Scholar Temple is one of the top powers on the entire continent. Other wizards can't even squeeze their heads in. The old wizard's face was filled with a passionate smile. He saw Suyu throwing thousands of spiritual coins in just a short while and knew that Suyu must be very wealthy. If such a wealthy person joins the power, his superiors will also give him generous rewards. Ding. Trigger the hidden excellent task. Join Scholar Temple. Task requirement. Agree to the request of the magician Pism and join the faction. The Scholar's Temple. Task reward. Scholar Temple Invitation Letter, X1, Experience Points X200. There are various forces of all sizes on the Forgotten Continent, and players can choose to join one of them. The influence of Scholar Temple, Suyu, knows that joining can indeed bring many benefits. In the past life, a player had to reach level 20 and complete tasks at least 30 times in order to gain recognition from the Scholar's Temple and join. But Suyu was not satisfied. His lips curled up and he said, Do you think I don't know? The Scholar's Temple is just a third-rate force on the mainland, far behind the first-class Silver Pine Pagoda and Elemental Dome. Suyu did not accept the task and turned to walk outside. The old wizard Pism was completely shocked. How did this new wizard know about the Silver Pine Tower and the Elemental Dome? How could a newcomer possibly know so much knowledge? But he also knows that Suyu is not easy to deceive. Seeing that Suyu had already stepped out of the threshold with one foot, the old wizard quickly urged him to stay again. Wait. I'm not finished yet. I'm willing to exchange with you the good things I've cherished for many years. Ding. The mission has been changed. You have triggered the hidden rare mission. Join Scholar Temple, changed. Task requirement. Submit the material, Silver Snake Gallbladder, dropped by the 5th level boss Silver Snake Leader. Task rewards. Scholar Temple Invitation Letter, X1, Skill Scroll, Lightning Chain, Excellent, X1, Experience Points X500. Seeing the Lightning Chain skill scroll of the task reward, Suyu was stunned. Lightning Chain is a group attack skill, which is very scarce in the beginner stage. If I remember correctly, in my previous life, I needed to trigger a hidden task with the old wizard and complete 30 challenging tasks to obtain the Lightning Chain skill scroll. Now, all you need to do is submit the Silver Snake Gallbladder. The old wizard also said with a pleasing expression. You are so wealthy, and in the future, just take a Silver Snake Gallbladder among adventurers. This task shouldn't be too difficult for you, right? But at this point, the old wizard felt something was wrong. Not right. How could it be that I invited him to join the faction, which was beneficial to everyone, now it's me begging him? Suyu smiled and said, since that's the case, I'll reluctantly agree and wait for my good news. Suyu accepted the task and strode away from the magic hut. Although the Scholar's Temple is only a third-tier power on the mainland, it is very open-minded and open. There are no obstacles to exiting after joining, and it is indeed suitable for early settlement. Moreover, obtaining group attack skills in the early stages greatly helped him, and Suyu was very satisfied. 5. Third level monster, Flash Kill. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. The wild monster area outside the novice village. Suyu entered the game half an hour later than the others, and the wild monster area was already densely packed with people. In evolution, players upgrade very slowly. Killing a level 1 slime can only earn 1 experience, while upgrading from level 1 to level 2 requires 1000 experience. Killing 1000 slimes is enough to advance to level 1. So all the level 1 monster areas are players. Everyone dispersed and guarded, and once a slime was refreshed, 5 or 6 attack spells were summoned up, and the competition was very fierce. Suyu didn't plan to compete with everyone for monsters, so he walked straight towards the advanced monster area. There are relatively few players in the goblin area at level 2. Because the first level new number cannot single-handedly defeat the second level monster, everyone present is a team of 3 or 4 people working together to deal with a goblin. At the entrance of the strange area, a middle-aged warrior with a beard and a young and beautiful female assassin stand here, discussing something. Seeing Suyu enter the monster zone, the young woman's eyes lit up and walked towards him. "This friend, do you want to team up and fight monsters together? Our team now has 2 people, plus you, we can start fighting." Suyu looked at the name on top of her head. Snowflakes Falling is a poetic name. But he still smiled kindly and said, "I think we should just forget it." At the same time, he pointed to the area of level 3 wild monsters and said, "I'll go over there and take a look. Little brother, don't waste your time over there." The middle-aged uncle walked towards Suyu and advised, "My daughter and I have just returned from the level 3 monster area. To practice there, we need to team up with 5 people and have a pastor, which is not very efficient." The middle-aged uncle's name is Snow Cream, which is similar in style to his daughter's name. "But I always feel like something's wrong." "It's okay, I'm just going to take a look." Suyu refused their kindness and walked towards the level 3 wild monster area. Looking at Suyu's distant figure, the middle-aged uncle shrugged and looked at his daughter, Luo, "It seems we can only form other groups." "Yeah. He looks quite handsome, but unfortunately he doesn't look very smart." Snowflake made a funny face at Suyu's back. Suyu, who was far away, couldn't help but wipe his sweat upon hearing their conversation. His appearance has been reduced by 40%, yet he can still be called quite handsome. It seems quite difficult to be an ordinary person. Reaching the level 3 monster zone, the number of players is very rare. From a distance, Suyu could only see 3 5-person teams practicing here. A level 3 monster named Black Boar has a health of 50 points. The attack of the 5-person team fell on the wild boar and could only deal damage numbers of 0.2 and 0.3. And after practicing for a while, either the priest ran out of mana or the anti-monster warrior ran out of health, so the leveling practice was quite hard. Suyu avoided these people and found a position that others couldn't see, starting his own leveling career. He waved his magic wand and proficiently recited spells. 0.5 seconds later, an apple-sized magic bullet flew out from the tip of the wand and hit the unsuspecting black wild boar. 60. A huge number appeared. The black wild boar fell to the ground in response. With just one strike, the third-level wild boar was instantly killed by Suyu. I don't know how the 5-person team practicing next to me would feel if they saw it. At the same time, the system log also popped up. Ding! You killed the black boar LV3 and gained 3 experience points. Unfortunately, the black boar did not drop any items. Legend has it that his bloodline is really strong. Suyu sighed in his heart. If I hadn't drawn the starry bloodline, I might still be struggling to grab the slim. Now that I'm leveling up, it's countless times faster. Of course, besides legendary bloodline, money is also one of the essential elements. After all, he spent 1,100 psionic coins upgrading his magic bullet. The current level 1 mini account can only produce 8.15 psychic coins per day when dealing with monsters. If there is no money, even if there is a legendary bloodline, the advantage in the early stage is not obvious. By following this method of leveling up, I believe you can reach level 2 in just a few minutes. Suyu was uplifted and devoted himself to the cause of attacking, slaughtering, and killing wild boars. He waved his wand in his right hand to release a magic bullet, and his left hand activated the fireball and ice arrow scrolls one after another. A magic bullet can kill a wild boar in seconds, and a magic scroll can also kill one. No black wild boar could withstand Suyu's attack and fell to the ground in patches. Suyu gradually advanced and swept through a small half of the monster area. 10 minutes later, level 2 monster zone. Snowflake and her father still couldn't find a suitable teammate. After rejecting the team invitation from a few male players with squinting colors, she tiptoed and looked towards the direction of the level 3 monster zone. "Dad, why hasn't the nemesis come back yet? He couldn't have been killed by a wild boar, could he?" "You ask me, who am I going to ask?" Snow Cream carried a shield and suddenly said, "Luo, you don't have a crush on that young man, do you?" "Of course not. How could that be?" Snowflake rolled her eyes and said, "How could you fall in love with just one glance? You think you're in a TV drama. Huh, you can't deceive me." "Your mother looked at me like this for the first time," Snow Cream laughed heartily. Snowflake's face turned red as she stomped her feet, showing a tendency to explode. "Snow Cream, quickly shift the topic. Cough, while we have time now, why don't we go to the level 3 monster area to find that young man? Maybe he's on his way back." Okay." Snowflake nodded awkwardly. At the same time, after 10 minutes of slaughtering pigs, Suyu accumulated 1,000 experience points and successfully upgraded to LV2. Although he entered the game half an hour later than other players, after 10 minutes of monster spawning, he still managed to catch up with the first tier. Unfortunately, the equipment explosion rate of wild monsters in UU reading www.akonshu.net's evolution is very low. In these 10 minutes, Suyu slaughtered over 300 wild boars. Apart from harvesting some materials such as wild boar meat, wild boar fur, and wild boar bones, only 3 pieces of equipment were released, 2 of which were used by other professions. The only item suitable for Suyu to use was a cloth long boot, ordinary, which he enhanced to a rare quality. Cloth boots, rare, defense plus 10 movement speed plus 0.4 intelligence plus 3. The meaning of movement speed plus 0.4 is that walking can increase the distance by 0.4 meters per second. Suyu's initial movement speed is 1.2, which means his initial walking speed is 1.2 meters per second and his running speed is 6 meters per second. Wearing cloth boots, he walked at a speed of 1.6 meters per second and ran at a speed of 8 meters per second, much faster than others. After upgrading, his attributes have changed. Character: Killer, Level. LV2 Occupation. Magician Bloodline. Star Bloodline, Legend, Attribute. Strength. 6, Agility. 6, Intelligence. 16, Constitution. 5, Lucky Value. 10 Spell Strength. 26 Health. 90 Mana Value. 120 Defense. 25 Spell Critical Hit Rate. 0 Movement Speed. 1.6 Experience Value. January 2000 Wealth. 737-888-1360 Equipment. New Technique Staff LV1, Rare, Novice Mage Robe LV1, Rare, Cloth Boots LV1, Rare, Skills. Magic Bullet, Rare, Star Pointer, Legend. 6 Single Kill, Level 3 Boss. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The game evolution has no free attribute points after upgrading. During the upgrade process, for each level up of the mage profession, their attributes will automatically increase: strength sensitive body +1, intelligence +2, health +10, magic +20. There's no need for Suyu to worry about this. Looking at his attribute panel, Suyu nodded secretly. My spell strength has reached 26 points now, so I should be able to instantly kill level 4 wild monsters. Let's go to the advanced monster zone to level up. Suyu casually threw a magic bullet, intending to end the life of the wild boar in front of him, and then went to the advanced monster zone. But something unexpected happened to him. After being hit by a magic bullet, the wild boar in front of him did not fall like its companions, but roared and charged towards Suyu. Suyu was taken aback and looked at the wild boar. This wild boar has a body size that is one circle larger than its companions, and has a few more golden hairs on its head, which even looks a bit fierce. Black boar leader, normal, HP 500. Surprisingly, a wild boar boss was refreshed. No wonder it didn't drop in seconds. But since it's a boss, there should be some good things falling off. Suyu thought to himself, and his reaction was not slow either. He calmly moved 2 steps to the side and dodged the wild boar leader's charge. Then, Suyu smashed the magic bullet and the ice arrow activated by the scroll onto the leader of the wild boar. 54.48. 2 large numbers jumped out, and the wild boar leader's health line immediately dropped below 70%. The leader of the wild boar suffered from pain and his eyes turned red with blood. He let out a grunt and launched another charge towards Suyu. But Suyu was a level 64 expert in his past life, and it was too difficult to harm him with the AI of these low-level monsters. He lightly dodged the charge again, but his spell did not slow down at all. 55.49. There are 2 more spells. The health of the wild boar boss drops to below half health. The proud charge skill of the black boar leader was unable to hit the humans in front of him, constantly being dodged by Suyu's skillful movements. It exerted all its strength, using all its tricks, but failed to touch the despicable human in front of it. I didn't even touch it. In the end, amidst the bombardment of spells and magic scrolls, the wild boar leader fell to the ground with a mournful cry. Ding! You killed the black boar leader LV3 and gained 30 experience points. The monsters in the novice village are still weak. It's not a bit difficult. Suyu stepped forward and flipped through the body of the wild boar boss, picking up the fallen bag. The wild boar boss is very face-saving and dropped several items. New moon wand, excellent, LV3, black iron boots, excellent, LV3, skill scroll, lightning arrow, normal, wild boar leader's fawn, excellent, X2. Oh. The skill scroll is out. Suyu's eyes lit up. In evolution, a small number of basic skills can be learned from career mentors, while others, especially high-quality spells, are learned through skill scrolls. Skill scrolls are much more precious than equipment, and I didn't expect the wild boar boss to release one. It may also be related to the first killing of a level 3 boss in Nolan Village. Lightning Arrow. With the addition of the lightning chain reward from the old wizard's mission, it seems that I will be following the path of a lightning mage in the early stages of the game. Suyu smiled and directly chose to learn this spell. Lightning Arrow, normal. Release lightning to attack enemies, dealing 130% magic damage to the target and a 20% chance to put them in a paralyzed state. The casting time is 1.5 seconds, and the mana cost is 5 points. Paralysis. The target cannot attack or move for 0.5 seconds. Suyu didn't even think about it, so he spent 1,100 spiritual coins to upgrade his skills to a rare blue quality. After the upgrade, the attributes of Lightning Arrow also underwent earth-shattering changes. Lightning Arrow, rare. Release lightning to attack enemies, dealing 390% magic damage to the target and a 40% chance to put them in a paralyzed state. The casting time is 0.5 seconds, and the mana value is consumed by 15 points. Looking at the improved attributes of Lightning Arrow, Suyu nodded with satisfaction. The characteristics of thunder-based spells in evolution are high individual damage, fast speed, and the addition of a paralyzing effect. But compared to other spells, the damage range is smaller than fire spells, the control ability is weaker than ice spells, and the defense ability is not as good as earth spells. Each series of spells can only be said to have their own strengths. In previous lifetimes, mage players usually only specialized in one type of spell. But Suyu is different. He has 7 billion spiritual coins, which can be used for multi-lineage cultivation. The level of the New Moon Wand is not enough and cannot be used. Suyu casually threw the drop of the wild boar boss into his backpack, hummed a tune, and walked towards the higher-level wild monster area. Just as Suyu was fighting against the wild boar boss, Zuowago and his daughter found a 5-member group practicing on the other side of the wild boar zone. "Excuse me, have you seen a young man named Kushing?" asked Snow Cream politely. No. No. I don't have either. 4 of them shook their heads one after another. The remaining kind-hearted archer replied, "You can go to the opposite monster area to find it, after all, the wild monster area is very large, maybe." The archer was halfway through speaking when suddenly he couldn't continue. The archer profession has a wider field of vision than other professions. Looking from a distance, he can just see Suyu fighting against the wild boar boss, as well as the piles of wild boar corpses lying under his feet. "Boss! Boss! Look what's going on over there." The archer pointed to the distance and shouted, ignoring the need to level up. "What?" The soldier, known as the boss, knocked over the wild boar. Yu looked up at the direction of the arrow finger, but saw nothing. "There's nothing." The soldier looked bewildered. Other teammates also expressed that they didn't see anything. "You don't have a good view. Come with me quickly, let's take a closer look." The archer was very excited and ran around the strange area towards Suyu's direction. At the same time, he also said to the father and daughter of Snow Cream, "Let's both go and take a look. There seems to be something amazing ahead." Seeing the archer's movements, his 4 teammates looked at each other. But after half an hour of brushing the wild boar, they were already tired and didn't say anything, keeping up with the archers. Snowflake and her father exchanged a glance, and out of curiosity, they decided to follow suit. Suyu had not taken a few steps after dealing with the wild boar boss when he noticed 7 players walking towards him, one of whom looked familiar to the father and daughter. At this moment, these 7 players looked at the corpses of wild boars on the ground, their faces full of disbelief. "Oh my goodness! How could there be so many wild boar corpses? Is it a bug? The wild boar should have been quickly killed, otherwise how could there be so many corpses left that haven't been refreshed?" Shocked. Dozens of wild boars were brutally slaughtered in the wilderness, and the reason was. The archer among the 7 people just saw the scene of Suyu fighting against the wild boar boss, and knew it was Suyu who did it. So he leaned towards Suyu with his eyes lit up and lowered his voice, saying, "Friend, where did you get the cheat? Is it stable? Sell it to us, we guarantee a high price." 7. Traitor, Slaying Heaven Guild. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Cheating. Suyu's mouth twitched. "I didn't expect the archer to think so." Suyu explained without blushing or jumping, "You misunderstood. I didn't use any cheats. Just now, a high-level NPC passed by and he killed these wild boars. So that's it." The 5-person team nodded, believing Suyu's words, except for the archers. Evolution has just opened, so theoretically there won't be any cheats so soon. If it weren't for cheating, the only explanation would be advanced NPC passing by. Otherwise, no one would dare to believe that all the wild boar corpses on the ground were masterpieces by Suyu alone. Snowflake's eyes were sharp as she noticed the symbol LV2 with the suffix Nemesis and exclaimed in surprise, "Nemesis, have you upgraded? I just saw that you are still at level 1. This is because that advanced NPC casually added a buff to me when I left, allowing me to fight wild boars alone. I was already almost full of experience, and after killing a few wild boars, I upgraded." Suyu shrugged. The 5-person team also noticed Suyu's level and exclaimed in admiration. "Oh my goodness! It's already level 2. We killed wild boars here as soon as we opened the server, and now we only have 85% experience at level 1. You wouldn't have received any hidden missions, would you?" The soldier led by the team walked towards Suyu and extended his hand. "Hello. I am Dongshan Sword, the captain of the Heaven-Slaying Guild. Are you a solo player, brother? Are you interested in joining our guild? Our guild is the strongest in Demon Realm. Dongshan Sword spoke incessantly. He saw that Suyu's level was higher than theirs, and immediately had a desire to recruit. As for Magic Domain, it was another national-level holographic online game before the release of Evolution. The Heaven-Slaying Guild. Upon hearing this name, Suyu's eyes suddenly burst into a flash of anger, and a towering hatred appeared in his eyes. The Zhantian Guild was a very famous grand guild in its past life, ranking 3rd in the country. The guild president, Zhantian Sword, has exceptional strength and is a righteous person with a good reputation. But Suyu knew that in his previous life, the Sky-Slaying Sword had secretly defected to the Screw people. The upright and simple Sky-Slaying Sword led the core team to give Guojia the most brutal backstab when he needed it the most, which directly led to the failure of the defense of the East China Sea, and millions of people died under the slaughter of the Screw people. So when Suyu heard the name Zhantian, his liking for the people in front of him immediately dropped to freezing point. However, the current Heaven-Slaying Guild has not yet betrayed humanity, and the hatred in Suyu's eyes is fleeting. "Don't invite me, I'm just playing games casually, maybe I won't play in a few days." After speaking, Suyu turned around and left without looking back. Ah! Snowflake Luo reached out to try to retain Suyu. She didn't forget that she came to the level 3 wild monster area this time to invite Suyu to team up and practice. However, Snow Cream quickly stopped in front of her daughter and said, Luo, don't disturb this little brother. Let's go back to the level 2 monster zone to practice." As a newly retired general, Zuowago sensed the fleeting hatred in Suyu's eyes. Although he didn't know why, he knew that Suyu must be in a bad mood, so he didn't let his daughter disturb him. The 5 members of Dongshan Sword were also very puzzled by Suyu's sudden cold face and departure. The good-looking female pastor in the team thought that Suyu looked down on them and angrily said, "Cut. What are you dragging? Maybe you were lucky enough to take on a hidden task and upgrade to level 2, so you didn't take our Sky-Slaying Guild seriously. And she is very confident in her appearance." When Suyu's gaze flashed across her face just now, it didn't stop at all. "It's really annoying. That's right, we are the largest guild in Demon Realm. Others can't even squeeze their heads in. Isn't this person too arrogant? Do you really consider yourself a master?" The other 2 teammates of Dongshan Sword also joined in. Even Dongshan Sword himself felt that Suyu looked down on them and his expression was a bit ugly. Snow Cream sees this, but knows that there are deeper reasons hidden inside. So he laughed and helped Suyu out. Since you are high-end players of the Heaven-Slaying Guild, I wonder if it's possible for me and my daughter to join your guild as well." Upon hearing the words of Zuowago, the 5 members of Dongshan Sword stopped discussing Suyu. Dongshan Sword glanced at the snowflakes and quickly nodded, "Of course. After entering the main city at level 10, I will invite you to join the guild. After all, Zuowayo is a beautiful woman, and beautiful women have always been a scarce resource in online games." Of course, Dongshan Sword will not refuse. In the following time, under the deliberate guidance of Zuowago, the Dongshan Sword 5 people team temporarily forgot about Suyu, and the group continued to practice level in the wild boar area, talking and laughing. Level 4 Wild Monster Zone. There is only Suyu in the vast leveling area. Suyu strolled leisurely in the strange area. After reaching level 2, he can deal nearly 100 damage to 0 defense targets with one lightning arrow. And the 4th level wild monster, Mountain Sheep, only has 60 health points. Even with defense and level suppression, they cannot resist Suyu's spell. 78.62, Fireball Technique Scroll, 0.80.61.83. The mountain slope sheep fell one by one at Suyu's feet, no different from the black wild boar just now. Ding! You killed the mountain sheep LV4, and gained 4 experience points. Ding! You killed the hillside sheep LV4, gained 4 experience points, and obtained the material, goat meat. Ding! You killed hillside sheep LV4. While practicing his level in a boring manner, Suyu's thinking had already gone out of nowhere. What he thinks most is still about the Heaven-Slaying Guild. In his past life, the Heaven-Slaying Guild was a behemoth for Suyu. Take the Heaven-Slaying Sword as an example. 100 Suyu combined may not necessarily be his opponent alone. But in this life, should we do something to suppress the Heaven-Slaying Guild? For example, delaying the development progress of their guild, creating enemies for them, and even playing Sword of Heaven in the game. After careful consideration, Suyu nodded and decided to do it this way. We cannot allow traitors to expand their power recklessly. But the problem arises again. The reputation of the Heaven-Slaying Guild is very good, and it has brought a group of loyal fans from Demon Realm, which can receive the support of most ordinary players. Suppressing a righteous guild recklessly will not only tarnish Suyu's own reputation, but also inspire sympathy from ordinary players, and the guild will actually become more and more courageous. How on earth should he suppress the Heaven-Slaying Guild? Suyu was lost in thought. 8. First kill of a 4th level boss. You are listening at Novel Full.audio. Suyu was thinking in his mind, and his hands were not slow at all. Lightning arrows flew out from the top of the wand one by one, and fireballs were activated from the magic scroll, turning the surrounding mountain sheep into his experience points. Wherever they went, rows of corpses of hillside sheep collapsed like cutting leaks. Moreover, there were no players around this time, so there was no need to worry about being seen. Suyu was even more reckless. But just after Suyu practiced for more than 10 minutes and killed more than 400 mountain sheep, he suddenly noticed a strange wind coming from the sky. Looking up, Suyu noticed a golden goat that was half the size of the other mountain goats, and it hit him straight from mid-air. Hillside Sheep Leader, excellent, HP, 800. Surprisingly, it is a green excellent level boss. So just now, the goat boss refreshed not far from Suyu. Coincidentally, Suyu's lightning arrow hit it. Under attack, the goat boss suddenly turned red in his eyes and used the skill, Jump and Tread, to leap into mid-air and stomp down towards Suyu's position from top to bottom. During the process of leveling up, Suyu remained in a state of distraction until the goat boss was about to step on him before he realized it. After reacting, Suyu quickly dodged to the side, but it was already too late. He had just taken 2 steps when the goat boss's hooves fiercely stepped onto the position he had just taken. Bang! The area where the goat boss landed was covered in dust, causing small seismic waves to roll. 78. Suyu was affected by the earthquake waves, and his health suddenly dropped by a large amount. The original health of 90 points was only 12 points left, and life is in danger. Fortunately, Suyu's novice mage robe and cloth boots are rare qualities that have been strengthened, providing him with an additional 20 points of defense. Otherwise, with just this strike, Suyu would be instantly killed by the goat boss. Wow, fortunately I wasn't killed in a flash, otherwise I would have been kicked off the line by a low-level monster, which would have been a huge loss. Suyu breathed a sigh of relief. In evolution, being killed by players or monsters in the wild does not result in leveling down or equipment loss. But every time I am killed, I will be forcibly kicked offline for half an hour and unable to log in, while also reducing my game time by half an hour. Evolution can only log in for up to 12 hours per day. If Suyu is kicked off the production line for half an hour due to carelessness, it would be a huge loss. The GOAT boss is unaware of Suyu's thoughts. However, as an excellent quality boss, in addition to the jump and tread skill, it also has 2 other skills. Ba. The GOAT boss let out a cry and activated the sheep summoning skill. 5 white lights flashed by, summoning 5 mountain sheep, targeting Suyu. Then, the GOAT boss unleashed his 3rd skill, Sheep Rush, and led his little sheep to accelerate towards Suyu, trying to solve the intruder. Suyu remained calm and unhurried. Although he only has 1 blood skin left now, it will hang up when touched by the goats, and he did not carry a blood bottle. But after all, Suyu is a person who has been baptized, destroyed, by high-level monsters. In his past life, Suyu's skills were honed to be quite outstanding when faced with saturated barrage attacks from advanced monsters like Thunderbolt. Although the GOAT boss is an excellent level boss, it is not worth mentioning to Suyu. Faced with the attack from the flock of sheep, Suyu spotted the movement trajectory of the GOAT boss and skillfully dodged its collision with a gentle dodge. Then Suyu drank a bottle of Junior Wisdom Potion and his intelligence increased by 10 points. Then use the Frost Arrow scroll with your left hand, and wave your wand with your right hand to cast the Lightning Arrow. 56.882 attacks hit the GOAT boss, and its health was instantly reduced by 18%. Its movement speed was also reduced by 20% due to the effect of the Frost Arrow scroll. Moreover, this lightning bolt also triggers a 40% chance of paralysis, leaving the GOAT boss frozen in place and unable to move. Suyu did not continue to deal with the GOAT boss, but instead prioritized the group of little sheep it led. Compared to their leading sheep, Little Sheep Brother appears to be weak and powerless. Suyu stood still, releasing spells one after another. Lightning Arrow. Fireball Technique. 80.102.78 The 5 Little Lamb Brothers had no chance to approach Suyu's side and turned into white light in his attack. After dealing with Little Sheep Brother, Suyu turned his head and focused on dealing with the GOAT boss. While dodging the attack of the GOAT boss, he smashed one spell after another. The health of the GOAT boss quickly dropped below 50%. The GOAT boss has some simple AI, and when faced with Suyu's fierce spell attacks, it begins to develop feelings of fear. So it no longer attacked Suyu, but turned around and ran in the opposite direction. The boss actually wants to escape. But how could Suyu let the cooked duck fly? He chased after the GOAT boss and continued to attack with the Frost Arrow scroll and Lightning Arrow. Lightning Arrow has a casting time of only 0.5 seconds and is extremely powerful. The GOAT boss didn't run a few steps and his health dropped below 20%. It knew that its remaining health was not enough to escape Suyu's attack, so it suddenly turned around and used the just-cooled jump tread to jump towards Suyu, trying to crush him into flesh. But just now Suyu was injured by the skills of the GOAT boss while he was distracted. Now he's not distracted, it's completely impossible for the GOAT boss to harm him. Suyu calculated the landing point of the GOAT boss and stood outside its skill coverage area. Bang! The forehooves of the GOAT boss fiercely hit the place where Suyu had just stayed, causing a small seismic wave within a few square meters. But Suyu just stood in a position beyond the reach of the earthquake waves and did not suffer any harm. Then he released the Lightning Arrow again and threw a magic scroll of Fireball Technique over it. 85.63 Mia. The GOAT boss's health was depleted and he collapsed weakly to the ground. Ding! You killed the Mountain Sheep Leader, excellent, LV4, and gained 80 experience points. Suyu's experience slot was already almost full after killing over 400 goats, and now he has gained 80 points of experience, filling the final gap. A brilliant golden light flashed around him, and he successfully rose to level 3. After reaching level 3, Suyu's spell strength naturally increased to 28 points. And after the upgrade, the new Moon Wand LV3 that was released by the Black Boar leader can finally be used. Suyu elevated the new Moon Wand to a rare blue quality. New Moon Wand LV3, Rare, Spell Strength. 16 Intelligence plus 5 Magic Recovery Speed plus 5. The new Moon Wand has replaced the new Technique Wand. Compared to the new Technique Wand, the new Moon Wand has increased Suyu's spell strength by 8 points, bringing his spell strength on the panel to an astonishing 34 points. I'm afraid even a level 10 mage is not as tall as my panel. Suyu felt a little excited. In addition, with his rare quality of lightning arrow's high output, other mage players may reach level 20 and may not have Suyu's terrifying output ability. This is the terrifying effect created by the combination of legendary talents and unlimited resources. 9. Drop of Goat Boss, Ice Shield. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Apart from experience points, the drop of a goat boss is the most attractive. Suyu walked forward and opened the body of the goat boss. As a level 4 boss and the first kill in the entire server, the drop of the goat boss is very generous. Slash Rock Sword, excellent, LV4, Linen Gloves, excellent, LV4, Skill Scroll, Lethal Strike, excellent, Skill Scroll, Ice Shield, normal, Horn of Mountain Sheep Leader, excellent, X1. Surprisingly, a skill scroll has been released again. It's still the ultimate skill of the warrior profession, Fatal Strike. Suyu's eyes lit up. Lethal Strike, excellent. Use a weapon to angrily strike the target in front of you, dealing physical damage to the target with 170% attack power. The lower the health of the target, the higher the damage it causes, with a maximum physical damage of 340% of its attack power. Cooldown time is 3 seconds, and anger costs 10 points. Learning level. LV1 Lethal Strike is a very useful skill in the early stages of the warrior profession, especially for killing wild bosses and dungeon bosses. It is simply a divine skill. At present, a solo warrior who learns Death Strike will definitely be sought after by the top 5 major guilds in the country and will also be a key target for training. Unfortunately, only the warrior class can learn Deadly Strike, and Suyu cannot use it at all. He can only throw the skill scroll into his backpack. Let's go back to the city and sell it later. In addition to the Death Strike skill scroll, the goat boss generously contributed another skill scroll. Ice Shield, normal. Use the power of frost to form a shield around you, helping you absorb 200% of spell damage. During the duration of the Ice Shield, if you are attacked by melee, it will reduce the attack speed and movement speed of the attacking melee unit by 20% for 5 seconds. Instant, duration 60 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds, mana consumption 10 points. Learning level. LV1 Ice Shield is a signature skill developed by ice mages in the early stages of solo training. The Ice Shield can withstand 2.3 melee attacks from monsters and also slow down melee monsters, making it easier to fly kites. In Suyu's past life, when the mage's nickname first entered the game, he must have tried his best to save enough spiritual coins and then went to the warehouse in the novice village, similar to an auction house, to purchase the Ice Shield skill scroll and the Ice Arrow skill scroll in order to level up independently. Suyu was a mage player in his past life and was quite familiar with this skill. So he didn't think too much, just clicked to use it and consume 1100 spiritual coins, elevating the Ice Shield to a blue rare quality. Ice Shield, rare. Use the power of frost to form a shield around you, helping you absorb 400% of spell damage. During the duration of the Ice Shield, if you are attacked by melee, it will reduce the attack speed and movement speed of the attacking melee unit by 40% for 5 seconds. Instant, duration 60 seconds, cooldown 60 seconds, mana consumption 30 points. After learning the new skill, Suyu waved with one hand and released the Ice Shield skill. The frost magic condensed around him, eventually forming an eggshell-shaped shield composed of transparent ice crystals. Looking at the familiar eggshell-shaped shield, Suyu couldn't help but feel a hint of emotion in his heart. Hey! I finally have some self-protection ability. But the magic cost of the ice shield is as high as 30 points, so it seems necessary to get some equipment that can increase mana. Suyu's current maximum mana value is 140 points, and the primary mana restoration potion can restore 100 mana points. During the process of leveling up and attacking the boss just now, Suyu never stopped drinking medicine. As soon as his mana was used up, he drank a bottle to recover. But after drinking too much mana potion, Suyu felt his mouth was bitter. It's best to get 1 or 2 pieces of equipment that can increase the maximum mana value, so he doesn't have to drink medicine frequently. I remember there was a hidden task in the novice village that would give an excellent quality accessory. This accessory can increase the maximum mana value by a large amount, which is quite suitable for me now, Suyu thought. Looking at his backpack again, now his backpack is filled with some scattered equipment materials, and there are only 37 bottles left for the basic mana recovery potion. Forget it, let's go back to the city to replenish and complete the accessory task before returning to practice. Suyu made the decision to leave the monster area and walk towards the novice village. A few minutes later, Suyu returned to the novice village of Nolan Village. Nolan Village is still so lively, with countless players coming and going. Some are busy practicing, while others are looking around at the scenery, treating this game as a travel simulator. As soon as Suyu walked to the village entrance, players around him saw the level above his head and immediately heard a series of screams of surprise. Oh my goodness! Level 3. There's actually a level 3 boss in our novice village. Wife, come and take a look, God. Boss, how did you level up so quickly? Do you have any tricks? Are you a solo player, big shot? Are you willing to join our guild? Our Emperor Blood Killing Heaven Guild. Not long after, Suyu was surrounded by a large number of players in the middle, and everyone looked at him with envy and jealousy. Suyu is very familiar with the scene of being surrounded, and in his past life, he was often surrounded by people. However, in his past life, most of the people who surrounded him were beautiful women. Now, all the people who surrounded him are big and rough gentlemen, which makes him particularly uncomfortable. Helpless, Suyu had no choice but to hide his name and level, and then said to his surroundings. Don't envy me, I was just lucky enough to receive a hidden task that gave me a large amount of experience points. Everyone patiently explores in the game, and sooner or later they will also receive such tasks. After speaking, Suyu turned around and squeezed out from the sparsest part of the crowd. Upon hearing Suyu's words, the players around him also believed it to be true. Seeing Suyu leave, they didn't investigate too much and discussed with their friends to find hidden tasks. But there were also 4 or 5 players who stubbornly pursued Suyu and loudly said, "Excuse me, where did you take your hidden task, big shot? Are you interested in joining our guild, big shot? It's so difficult to level up, big shot. Can you take me to level up? There are benefits." The last sentence was spoken by a pretty girl. But Suyu didn't even glance at them and accelerated into the street of Novice Village. Suyu's shoes have been reinforced, and their movement speed is already faster than other players. Taking these players around the Novice Village for 2 laps, we successfully managed to get rid of the pursuers. Ah! It seems that my level cannot be displayed in the future, otherwise it will cause onlookers wherever I go, which would be too troublesome. Suyu sighed inwardly and walked towards the warehouse in Novice Village. He is preparing to auction off the drops of 2 bosses. 10. Tears of the Savi Goddess. You are listening at novelfull.audio. On the small square in front of the warehouse, a large number of players gather here to set up stalls and sell their items. Take a look. Level 2 material Goblin Leather, a player who only sells 1 psionic coin and learns tailoring, don't miss it. Level 3 material wild boar meat, limited in quantity. If you want to purchase it, hurry up. Level 1 regular leather armor shoulder protection. Although warehouses can also sell items, placing items on shelves requires a service fee of at least 1 psionic coin. Many players are reluctant to accept this and can only sell items they don't need through stall sales. Suyu walked slowly on the street, thinking of picking up some good things to buy. But it hasn't been long since the server was opened, and the players haven't achieved anything good yet. After circling around but not realizing what he wanted, Suyu turned around and walked into the warehouse. In the warehouse, Suyu threw all the equipment, materials, and skill scrolls that were dropped by 2 bosses that he couldn't use onto the shelves for sale. Skill scroll, Lethal Strike, excellent, Rock Slaying Sword, excellent, LV4, Black Iron Boots, excellent, LV3, Wild Boar Leader's Fawn, excellent, X2, Shanshan Sheep Leader's Horn, excellent. These good things have been set up by Suyu to be sold in auction mode, with a minimum price of 1 psionic coin, no upper limit, and a limited time of 24 hours. Then, Suyu temporarily forgot about this matter and walked out of the goods station to search for hidden tasks to increase the amount of blue jewelry. At the entrance of Wolf King Valley to the west of Nolan Village, Suyu found the woodcutter from the hidden task in his memory here. This woodcutter is a middle-aged uncle with a fiery red beard. At this moment, he was struggling to carry 2 large bundles of firewood and walking towards the village. Seeing this woodcutter, Suyu's eyes lit up and he immediately welcomed him. "Uncle, I heard you heard the song of the Savi goddess the day before yesterday. There are a total of 20 hidden tasks for blue quantity jewelry. The 10th and last rings are the most difficult. The last round is dealing with a difficult boss, while the 10th round is a decryption task. Through the decryption mission, players will learn that the woodcutter named Sam had heard the song of the goddess Savi the day before yesterday. Then, with this clue, you can converse with the woodcutter and start the next step, which is the task of the 11th ring." But as an old player of Evolution, Suyu knows that hidden missions don't necessarily have to start from the first loop. As long as the player obtains the necessary props for the plot or knows the voice command to start one of the missions, they can completely skip the tedious steps and start directly from the latter half of the mission. Sure enough, it didn't meet Suyu's expectations. After hearing Suyu's words, the woodcutter breathed a sigh of relief and placed 2 bundles of firewood on the ground, laughing. "This adventurer, I guess En's little girl told you, right?" "Of course." Suyu's face remained unchanged. "Great. But I'm in a hurry to go home and cook now. If you're willing to help me bring these 2 bundles of firewood home, I'll tell you what's going on with the singing of the Savi goddess." The woodcutter laughed. "Ding. Trigger the excellent level hidden task, Tears of Savi Goddess, 11/20. Do you accept it?" "Accept." Suyu immediately took on the task and enthusiastically picked up the 2 bundles of firewood from the woodcutter. "So uncle, I'll take you home now. As for the bandits who robbed you of firewood on the way, I'll help you deal with them all." After Suyu finished speaking, he picked up the firewood and strode towards the village. The 11th ring of Savi's Tears is an escort mission. During the process of transporting firewood back to the village, players will encounter 2 groups of 6 bandits attacking in order to steal the 2 bundles of firewood from the player's hands. The player who originally completed the hidden task also purposely posted in the forum, roast that the game maker had brain defects. How could a mountain bandit rob firewood? The designer who designed this task must have had a brain teaser. Although this player's roast is well-founded, most players also agree with her. But a dramatic scene occurred. The player was permanently banned from the game the next day after roast. And the official did not provide any explanation. This incident sparked heated discussions among players and was later selected for Evolutionary Fun of the Year. So Suyu was deeply impressed by this hidden mission. Upon hearing Suyu's words, Uncle Woodcutter looked puzzled and said, "Adventurer, why did the mountain bandits come to snatch our firewood? This thing is not worth much money." Su Yu's footsteps paused and said, "You ask me who I'm going to ask. Hurry up and walk. When it gets dark, Jenny, the widow of old William in the village, should go to someone else's house." "Okay, adventurer." Upon hearing Jenny's name, the woodcutter's heart became hot and he quickly followed in Su Yu's footsteps. Su Yu is doing hidden missions on his end. What he doesn't know is that the equipment, skill scrolls, and materials he listed in the warehouse have caused a huge sensation in all the beginner villages of the national server. 002 Novice Village. Qingfeng Village. Unlike other novice villages, the second-level monster area of Qingfeng Village has been reserved by a grand guild. Emperor Blood Killing Heaven. However, it is not a completely exclusive game. The Imperial Blood Killing Heaven Guild occupies half of the leveling area, while the remaining half is reserved for ordinary players. Numerous ordinary players crowded on the side, killing Goblin while glaring discontentedly at the Emperor's Blood Killer. But they did not unite to attack each other. Because just now a group of passionate players have gathered and engaged in a fight with Emperor Blood Killing Heaven. However, these passionate players have been sent offline by the Emperor Blood Killing Heaven Guild to reflect on themselves. The rest are all a mob. Even though they knew that uniting could withstand the bloodthirsty Emperor, these people did not unite, but silently endured oppression and practiced compromise. In the central area of the Imperial Blood Killing Heaven Guild's private venue, their president, Emperor Blood Killing Heaven, holds a level 2 excellent quality long sword and practices it under the crowd of beautiful women. The surrounding gang members hurriedly beat goblins to the point of remaining blood, leading them to the side of Emperor Blood Killing Heaven, and the final blow was completed by Emperor Blood Killing Heaven. Now, a golden light flashed by, and Emperor Blood Killing Heaven successfully rose to level 3. The surrounding gang members were immediately overjoyed and gathered around, shouting loudly. "Congratulations to the boss for upgrading. Boss must be the first level 3 player in the game. The boss will definitely be the first player to enter the main city at level 10. The boss will definitely be the strongest player in the game. Our Imperial Blood Killing Heaven Guild will also be the most powerful guild in the game." The younger brothers kept flattering, almost boasting that Emperor Blood Killing Heaven would become the first person in the game in history. Faced with the flattery of his younger brothers, the corners of Emperor Blood's mouth also raised a slight smile. He flipped his hand and a level 3 ordinary quality long sword appeared in his hand. The equipment on the body is also constantly changing. In just a short while, he changed into several level 3 ordinary equipment. The cheers from the surrounding gang members suddenly became even more intense. But at this moment, a young man from the assassin profession with eagle-like sharp eyes appeared in the level 2 training area. "Emperor Blood, something big has happened.